what do you think organizations face? What kind of barriers do they face when it comes to data sharing, especially when it's sensitive?
That's a very good question, actually. And I was looking at the poll that you were running. It seems that the audience so far think that
I'll share it
some
again
of
so that people can vote more. Sorry,
yeah.
that's
Yep.
so please feel free to share to vote more with menti.com
Yeah.
and the code number. Yeah,
Seems
go
like
ahead, Husna.
one of the challenges that the audience think are being faced today with secure and private computation is lack of knowledge of technology. And I think I definitely agree with that. But before that, I do want to sort of reiterate what you had said, that no business or no individual currently is running in silo. Regardless of challenges, barriers, there is today absolutely no choice but to share data. So if there are barriers, we need to overcome it. Because yes, at an individual level, we are connected through the internet. There's, according to a Forbes study, 2.5 quintillion bytes of data being generated a day. And for those of you who need reminders like me, a quintillion is a 1 followed by 18 zeros. So it's quite a lot. And from an organization level as well. I mean, in addition to the individual level, data has to be shared because, for example, there are cloud hosting providers that organizations are leveraging. It is unthinkable to expect organizations to have their own private data centers these days, almost as unthinkable as expecting, let's say, central Londoners to have their own independent houses in independent plots of land instead of like a shared terrace infrastructure. And it's not just cloud services. Organizations have to share data with other outsourced functions. Again, a small retail company may not have their own in-house AI function. In fact, it's good in a way to have more and more outsourced functions as a modern day division of labor. And there's also sharing required from many industry-driven practices like open banking or sharing of health data between your private hospital and your general practitioner, as well as when we look at the GDPR requirement of data portability. At the end of the day, a data controller may have to share data of the data subject with its competitors as part of the requirement. So sharing has to happen. And again, from the poll, it seems what is not a barrier necessarily is lack of technology. If anything, technology is being developed very rapidly. In fact, I think the organizations are finding it hard to keep up these days in adopting them. There are ongoing concerns for privacy and security, but again, even solutions that are privacy or security enhancing technology are developing quite rapidly. For example, the homomorphic encryption solutions. But I don't think they're necessarily being adopted as swiftly. And to me, the biggest barrier to that is fear of the unknown. Just like the poll is saying, lack of knowledge of technology. I mean, at an individual level, there is fear. At first, there's excitement when there's new and shiny technology. For example, I remember my mom was very excited a few years ago when the social media platform she was using not only somehow knew that she was looking for furniture, but it knew exactly what type of furniture she was looking for. So it started with excitement. Wow, this machine can read my mind, to, uh-oh, it can read my mind. Oh my God. And that's a very rational fear because a lot of the factors are unknown, including where the data is hosted. There's this cloud environment, there's Internet of Things, and now we're talking about throwing in computers which uses subatomic particles. I mean, it all sounds very terrifying to the general public. And organizations are not free of the fear either, whether it's data processors or controllers. They have fear of adopting completely new technology because firstly, do they trust the technology? If they do, can they make their customers trust it? Will it give them return of investment? Again, as per the poll results I'm seeing. So it's really important for organizations to know more about such solutions. And when there isn't much time, let's say for an exec level person with the deeper pockets in the company to listen to a very long speech, I think it's also important for technology developers to use a common language rather than perhaps just focus on the fact that we have this big suite of solutions that will solve all your problems, which uses homomorphic encryption, multi-party computation, non-cryptographic solutions like, noise differential, secure enclave. At the end of the day, all this can come across as gibberish if it's not linked to real life use cases and tangible benefits and return of investment. In fact, if these solutions can be sort of used for processing big data to predict customer analytics without compromising the data, I mean, that is a very strong use case which can get the attention of some of these organizations. And that way, people like my mom can enjoy the benefits of getting furniture recommendations without being scared of misuse of her data. So I think in a nutshell, fear of the unknown is a big barrier. And I think the only way to overcome it is by making the unknown known. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Husna. That's a nice takeaway. Fear of the unknown. Fear of the unknown.